Welcome! Grandma Lightner here. I'm so glad you're joining me for reading and studying the Bible. We're in for a big adventure. Today we'll look at day 1 of creation, and that's found in Genesis 1, 1 through 5. On our adventure, we're going to need some tools. We're on a quest to understand the Bible and to know God. And for our quest, we'll use questions. That's right. Those are our tools. I'm going to give you 6 question words for your toolbox. Okay, you ready? Who, what, when, where, why, and how. We're going to use these question words, and they're going to help us uncover amazing things in the Bible. Let the show begin. The first thing we need to do is read through the entire passage. And I've chosen to use the New International Reader's Version because some of you are young readers. You're just learning how to read. And this uses shorter sentences and easier words. So what I want you to do is follow along as I read, okay? In the beginning, God created the heavens and the earth. The earth didn't have any shape, and it was empty. There was darkness over the surface of the waves. At that time, the Spirit of God was hovering over the waters. God said, "Let there be light," and there was light. God saw that the light was good. He separated the light from the darkness. God called the light day. He called the darkness night. There was evening and there was morning. It was day 1. All right, good job. Our next step is to go through the verses one at a time, and this is where we're going to start asking our questions. In the beginning, God created the heavens and the earth. Our first question will be, when? When did this happen? Can you tell me? It's right there in the verse. It's found right here, in the beginning. That's when this happened, in the beginning. We'll put that down. Our next question is going to be who? Who's mentioned in this verse? I think I see someone's mentioned right here. God is mentioned. Very good. We'll put that down. Next question will be what? Well, what did God do? That's a good question. Let's see if we can find the answer. Here it is. Created. God created. Now, who created? Yeah, God created. When did God create? In the beginning. And what did God create? Oh, wait a minute, we haven't asked that question yet. Yeah, what did God create? That's found in the rest of the sentence. God created the heavens and the earth. And we'll put that down. Wow, do you see how much information is right there in one verse? Do you feel like the questions helped you understand it better? I feel like they helped me. The earth didn't have any shape, and it was empty. There was darkness over the surface of the waves. At that time, the Spirit of God was hovering over the waters. This time, the first question I want to ask is what? Well, what are we talking about here? And the answer is found in the first sentence, right here. The earth. This is talking about the earth. That's good to know. We'll put that down. The second question is, how is the earth described? It didn't have any shape. And it was empty. And there was darkness. Well, that's interesting. No shape, empty, darkness. Okay, good. My next question is, who? Who is mentioned in this verse? Here we go, right here. Did you see that? The Spirit of God is mentioned in this verse. That sounds really important. We better put that down, huh? Now, I feel like we've gotten a lot of detail, but I feel like something's missing. I'm going to go back to a question we asked before. How? How how is the earth described? We already have no shape, empty, and darkness. Can you picture that in your mind? Okay, but there's a few more words that may help us come to an even better picture in our mind. And one is found right here. It's waves. The darkness was over the surface of the waves. That's really interesting. And waters. The Spirit of God was hovering over the waters. So the earth is described as having waves and waters. Okay, we're going to move on. God said, "Let there be light," and there was light. The first question I want to pull up is, who? Who's mentioned in this verse? Oh, he's mentioned right here at the beginning. God is mentioned. Very good. Let's put that down. And what does God do? Well, here we have it. God said. God spoke and said something. So we're going to put that down. Now, if God says something, we most certainly want to know what he says. So, what did God say? Here, it's found in quotation marks. He said, "Let there be light." All right. Yeah, let's put that down, huh? And what happened when he said it? Yeah, there was light, just like that. Think about this verse for a minute. That's amazing. Before there was only darkness, but now there's light. God just said, "Let there be light," and there was light, just like that. Wow, God's amazing. God saw that the light was good. He separated the light from the darkness. Who is mentioned in this verse? Okay, yeah, right here we see that God is mentioned. Good job, we'll put that down. And what does God do? Well, here it says God saw. God saw, and this he refers back to God, and he separated. So there's two things going on here. God saw, and he separated. We'll put that down. Well, we need a little more information. What did he see? God saw that the light was good. Yes, and light is good. Did you know we depend on light to live? I hope you study God's creation and you learn more about light. It's amazing. God also separated. What did he separate? The light from the darkness. Okay, let's put that down. That's cool. God called the light day, the darkness he called night. There was evening and there was morning. It was day one. Guess what my first question is? Who is mentioned in this verse? You guys already know the answer, don't you? God is mentioned. Very good. Let's put that down. And we want to know what God does, of course. Well, he called something. And here, the he refers back to God, and he called something else. He called or named two things. Okay. He called the light day. We'll put that down. And he called the darkness night. We'll put that down. And that makes sense. If you remember in the previous verse, God separated the light from the darkness. And now he's calling the light day and the darkness night. That makes a lot of sense. What made up the first day? Now, if you go ahead and tell me everything we've discussed so far, you'd be right. But I'm looking for something right here in this verse. Here it mentions that this was day one. But there's a sentence before this that gives us a little bit more detail, and I think that's important. There was evening and there was morning. So the first day was made up of evening and morning. Well, that's interesting. Why do you think the evening is first? Well, which came first? Was there light first or darkness first? Yeah, there was darkness first. Yeah. So in the Bible, the new day starts when it becomes dark, because that's how it started at creation. That's interesting and good to know. Well, we finished the passage, and now we're just going to spend a few minutes to think it over. What did you learn about God? I think we learned a lot. You can learn about a person by what they do. Do you remember what God did? He created. What did he create? He spoke. Do you remember what he said? He saw. What did he see? And he separated. Do you remember what? And he called or named some things too. Wow. We've really learned a lot about God. That's cool. What did you learn about the world around you? Has it always been like it is today? Remember? No shape and empty? That sounds very different. And water? No dry land is mentioned, just water. Wow, that's different. Did you learn anything about yourself? This may be a little bit harder. People aren't even mentioned yet in the Bible, and it's probably a good thing. I couldn't live on a world that was just water. Now, water's very important, so it makes sense that God started with it. It's foundational for life. And I hope you study about water and you find out why and how cool it is. But I could not live on an earth that was just water. So it'll be really interesting to see what happens over the next few days of creation. And finally, who can you share this with? It's so important when you read God's Word and you discover all these cool things that you share it with somebody. So I hope you'll find somebody to share this with. Well, don't miss our next exciting episode of Reading and Studying the Bible. Next time, we'll look at day 2, and it's going to be really good. It's found in Genesis 1, 6 through 8, if you want to read ahead. And I love you all. I hope to see you soon. Bye-bye.